Princess Peach Showtime is literally right around the corner, actually coming tomorrow, which is super exciting, finally giving us our first real original game of the year from Nintendo, which is kind of insane to think about, but, you know, obviously on the last of their legs before moving on to the next console, it makes a lot of sense. But with that said, we have reviews now, and a lot of people are talking about this game and how good it is and, you know, what it actually is going to have to offer, and my job is pretty much to take everybody's reviews and put them into one big ball of reviews, so I can give you kind of an idea of what to expect if you're still on the fence about buying this game, and if you still want to buy this game, all that in between. But let's get into it. So I'm not going to drag on and tell you every little detail about how the game works and stuff. You guys already know that. You played the demo. This is an easy game. This game is targeted for children, and it still seems to be the case even throughout the very end of the game. This is a game made for children. There's little to no difficulty at all. Princess Peach will always have 5 hearts, and there's even a mode to give her even more, I think like 8 hearts, which is kind of insane. So if it's a very, very young child, yeah, you can make it as easy as it can possibly go. You can move that easy slider over, baby. I'm hearing the hub world is very short and sweet, and it's very similar to Mario 64, allowing you to go to different floors and different rooms and move around and stuff. And I'm hearing that apparently there's some like little Easter eggs and secrets that kind of have references to other Mario games or something along those lines, and that they just did not want to share. Obviously, right now, they didn't want to spoil it with these reviews, but that's pretty interesting. So yeah, there might be little things hidden here or there to give us some things to look forward to. But yes, it looks like there's only going to be the 10 transformations that we know of so far in this game, which means Nintendo has showed us all of them, which is kind of disappointing. I wish there were some secret ones that we didn't know about and something along those lines. But yes, we've seen them all. There's going to be 10 total transformations, unless there's like one, you know, extra special one at the very end or something along those lines that I do not know. But what's interesting to me about this is the fact that there seem to be 4 transformations per floor. So if there's 10 total, that would mean there's only like, what, 2.5 floors? How would that work? I don't know. So I'm guessing maybe they repeat some transformations on certain floors. Like you'll see the Sword Fighter Peach in the first floor, and you might see her again on the 3rd floor or something along those lines. So yeah, which is still, I wish there were a couple more, you know, at least some surprises and stuff, but it's still okay. As far as the transformations go, apparently they do really well at giving you a feel, almost like a different genre of game each time, and it seems like it's really going to depend on the player which ones they like the most. But from what I've been hearing, a lot of people do not like Detective Peach all that much. They said it's very slow going, it's very boring, it's very easy, it's not really doing a whole lot, which I can definitely tell from the gameplay, and I think even Nintendo might know that, because even from the things that I've seen, it just doesn't look like a whole lot's going on in the gameplay. And when they do show it, they only show a couple clips and then they move on to the next real quick. But the rest of the transformations look like a lot of fun. There's a lot of different set pieces, and there's multiple levels for each transformation, so it's not going to be like one level for every transformation. There's not 10 levels in the game, so don't worry about that. But lots of them look like really in-depth. Now, you'll be doing the same thing in each level, though. For instance, Peach will not develop a new ability. Like for the cowgirl, she won't get a gun eventually, or like even for the sword fighter, she won't eventually get a shield or something. It's just the same things over and over again. I actually would have really loved it is if in those transformational stages, like each level, they gave you a new ability with that transformation. For instance, like you get the shurikens and stuff for the Ninja Peach, and then eventually in the next stage, you can actually have a sword, would be pretty cool, or maybe like a pair of nunchucks or something along those lines for like the fighter Peach. So those would have been really cool to have, but at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. But yeah, there is a lot of transformations still. There's 10 transformations with lots of stages with them each, so you're still going to have gameplay. I've heard some reviewers say the game is around 8 hours long, and I've actually seen some gameplays on YouTube of people finishing the game in about 5 to 6 hours. Now, those people are probably busting through from beginning to the end, not really trying to collect everything in the first playthrough. So maybe if you take your time, go through everything, it's probably around 8 to 10 hours if you want to completely 100% this game, but it looks like you can beat it pretty quick. 5 to 6 hours is pretty daggone fast, so don't expect an extremely long game. It looks like it is going to be a very fun experience. Lots of the reviewers said they literally had a really fun time with it all the way to the end of the game. Even though it was very easy, it's still a fun playthrough. So yes, this shows that games don't need to be difficult to have a good time playing. And it looks like there's lots of variety and just enough to really just keep you on your toes. But something else I've really seen is that there are a good amount of boss battles and different ways to fight them. There's little boss battles, there's even giant ones at the end of each floor, explore, and apparently the final boss battle is a good one as well. You know me, I'm all for a really good boss battle, so I hope the ending is actually really cool. I hope there's like some type of really cool transformation. I'm sure there's videos of it right now. I'm not going to watch them, and I'm not going to spoil that for you guys anyways. Now, there is post-game content as well. You can go through each stage collecting all those green crystals, but I've heard it's kind of a drag if you missed a couple because each level is like 10 minutes, and I've noticed that from the demo. You have to go back into a very long level. Thankfully, after you collect a crystal, you can then leave, at least from the demo allowed me to do that, so you don't have to play the entire level, just get the crystal and then bounce. There are some type of time trials with like a time trial mode. In some other mode, I don't know if they're like bonus challenges or something, they didn't really talk about it, but you have to like find some guy or collect some guy or something. I don't really know, but yeah, there seems to be a lot of stuff, and plus obviously the hidden ribbon in each stage as well. So there's stuff to do. It may not be a lot, but there's still some things on the table. But yes, so this is where it starts to get a little bit bad. However, it has a horrible frame rate. There are times where the frame rate dips below 20 frames per second, which is bad. That's chugging. And they said the game doesn't always look the best. It's just kind of showing that, you know, Unreal Engine is looking outdated when it's on the Switch right now. It's just not running that smoothly. And it's just, once again, another reason why Nintendo needs to get this new console out. But yeah, it's not the best running game, and it's not the prettiest looking game at times. But as far as the other cons, it's really just, it's a very easy game. It's just not that long. It's stuff that we pretty much expected from this. It's a lot of fun when you're playing through it, but it just may not be a very long playthrough. In fact, like I said, I haven't watched any gameplay or anything. I don't want to spoil it or get information that, you know, it's not supposed to be out there right now. But what I've seen, it looks like there might only be 2 acts per each transformation, which means yes, out of the 10 transformations, there's going to be a total of 20 different stages, which isn't, you know, extremely small, but I definitely expected a lot more than just 2. This game is in fact made by Goodfeel, which is pretty much speculated when we first saw it because it has very much similar characteristics to that of Woolly World and Crafted World, where everything looks like a big stage play and, you know, you have cardboard cutouts of things in the background. Like I said, this is a very beautiful looking game. Even the things that I've seen only, it looks really, really good. At least in terms of game design and what they decided to do with it, with the animations and stuff like that. That looks good, but the actual graphics can be blurry from time to time, and of course that frame rate is just dipping too much. But yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a pretty fun game. I think most of the reviews are circling around 7s and 8s, so you can pretty much expect it to be a pretty decent game at the very least. It's not going to be a bad game whatsoever, but it is a game that I feel like some people might skip on, some people might want to indulge on, or just play with their children. Let me know in the comments down below how excited you are for Princess Peach Showtime tomorrow. Are you more excited? Are you less excited? Are you going to pick it up? Are you not going to pick it up? Definitely let me know, and thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on more things Princess Peach Showtime. And if you want to play Mario Kart 7 and other 3DS and Wii U games with me and the community, make sure you join in the Discord because we are playing through some of the classic games before the servers for the DS and the Wii U shut down in the first week of April. That will all be in the description down below, but thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.